Be prepared. This revelation carries a burden that few could bear. By choosing to engage with this message, you've stepped beyond a threshold many fear to cross. And in doing so, you'll unlock an inner force that remains eternally yours. Your decision to watch this video marks a bold departure from the ordinary path. There's a vital truth awaiting you, one that brings both enlightenment and challenge. But your continued presence suggests you're prepared. And believe me, this leap of faith will prove invaluable. The date ahead, August 21st, isn't merely another day passing by. It holds significance. Missing this message before then means losing access to knowledge meant specifically for you. This revelation holds particular weight for the chosen ones, as its impact resonates more deeply within your spirit than others can comprehend. The stakes are genuine, and understanding their full scope is essential. Yet here's what you must know. While this journey demands sacrifice, it bestows an unshakable gift. Before tomorrow dawns, you must grasp the true nature of this exchange. The real threat isn't found in darkness or mystical hexes. It lies in what you surrender upon awakening. When you embrace your truth as a chosen one, you forfeit comfort. You let go of validation. You release the false serenity that kept you submissive and contained. Your awakening threatens every structure built upon your compliance. You'll face criticism. You'll experience isolation. You'll become a target for those who can't face their own reflection in you. Your former safety nets will dissolve. But therein lies the evidence of your liberation. The risk is tangible, yet remaining unconscious extracts a steeper price. This wasn't your conscious choice, but your essence knew. Being a chosen one transcends mere spiritual coincidence. Your presence on this path isn't random. You've incarnated into an ancient conflict that predates your current existence. This isn't metaphorical poetry. It's concrete reality. Many of today's struggles have roots in past existences. These are battles your soul carried forward, knowing your capacity to confront them. And in this precise moment, this conflict has reached a critical juncture. Resistance intensifies. Strikes become more precise. Diversions grow more compelling. Each moment of hesitation or silence strengthens the opposition. The entities feeding on fear, doubt, and repression gain momentum when you remain passive. This extends beyond mere energetic protection. It's tactical warfare. You've been programmed to minimize your influence, to doubt your voice's impact. But this systematic targeting reveals precisely why you matter. Because when you fully harness your innate potential, the entire dynamic transforms. While you may not have consciously enlisted in this spiritual battle, your soul comprehended the magnitude of what was at stake and deliberately chose to manifest in this crucial moment. And if these words still resonate with you, understand that you stand among the frontline warriors, regardless of your readiness to embrace this truth. This power wasn't bestowed from above. It emanates from within you. Let's be transparent. Tomorrow holds no extraordinary celestial events, no rare astronomical alignments, no unexpected cosmic phenomena. And therein lies the profound truth. The most significant transformations don't require celestial movements. They require your movement. August 21st transcends astronomical significance. It mirrors your internal landscape. Consider the numerological essence of 21. It vibrates with the energy of completion, marking the conclusion of cycles to birth new beginnings. Analyzing its components, 2 and 1, reveals the merger of duality and individual consciousness. This intersection of collective harmony and personal power isn't coincidental. This understanding before tomorrow proves crucial. Without awareness, the day might pass unremarkably, but approaching it consciously, choosing to claim your inherent power, catalyzes transformation. The day's significance stems not from celestial mandates, but from your conscious demand. Chosen ones serve as catalysts for change. Your movement ripples through reality. Your presence in tomorrow's energetic field holds transformative potential beyond your current comprehension. Thus, August 21st transcends ordinary chronology. It functions as a reflection, mirroring back whatever you project. Your purpose isn't obscured. Let's abandon pretense. Your soul's calling has always resonated within you. It's neither mysterious nor concealed. This truth has echoed through your consciousness since your awakening began. The challenge isn't uncertainty. It's your resistance to embracing the responsibility that comes with clarity. Chosen ones excel at postponement. You shield yourself with uncertainty. You maintain the illusion of seeking when truth has already revealed itself countless times. Every meaningful coincidence, every intuitive flash, every dream that jolted you awake. These weren't random occurrences. They were signposts, repeatedly directing you toward your path. Here's the uncomfortable revelation. You've been deliberately ignoring them. Not from lack of recognition, but because acknowledgement eliminates all retreat paths. It strips away excuses. It nullifies claims of unpreparedness. Your soul harbors no confusion. It's your ego creating resistance. And therein lies the core tension, doesn't it? Because deep within, you recognize that embracing your mission requires releasing certain comforts, surrendering the self-identity that once provided safety. Yet avoiding this truth only intensifies the internal flame. Reality doesn't dissolve simply because you shield your eyes. It amplifies. It intensifies its pressure. So here's your direct challenge. Your purpose has already revealed itself. The indicators have been constant. The real question isn't about recognition. It's about what's holding you back. Fear manifests precisely when transformation approaches. It's not a warning of danger. It's confirmation that you're approaching your pivotal moment. Many misinterpret fear's message. They interpret it as a stop signal. They perceive it as a threat. But for chosen ones, fear typically surfaces when you're facing the exact threshold you've spent your existence avoiding, the gateway that leads directly to your evolution. And understand this. Such fear is methodical. It's constructed systematically through every past moment that taught you to diminish yourself. It's composed of others' judgments, validation seeking, loss anxiety, and isolation dread. It manifests as doubt, rationalizations, or even physical distress, and it invariably emerges just as you're about to take the step that could liberate you. The ultimate challenge preceding every spiritual elevation is whether you'll traverse that fear or retreat into familiarity. Fear's aim isn't destruction, it's containment. It manipulates your survival mechanisms to convince you that remaining in known territory, despite its misery, surpasses stepping into your power. It whispers of delay. It suggests inadequacy. It illuminates potential failures while obscuring possible triumphs. But fear conceals one crucial aspect, the consequence of inaction, because the real stake isn't rejection, failure, or criticism. It's the potential self you'll never manifest if you continue retreating. That's fear's true protection, not your safety, but your limitations. It guards the boundary between your present existence and your authentic life. And this boundary doesn't fade with time. It persists. It evaluates. It repeatedly poses the same question. Are you finally prepared to exchange false security for genuine liberation? Every chosen one encounters a moment of realizing that their deepest fear holds the key to their advancement. Whether it's visibility, solitude, misunderstanding, or complete vulnerability, whatever you resist typically indicates your precise path forward. And the more you resist it, the more intensely it resonates, not as a threatening force, but as your soul's persistent guidance toward your destiny. You may postpone it, attempt to dull its voice, or feign ignorance of its presence, but it remains steadfast because your inner wisdom holds the undeniable truth. Your personal transformation awaits on the other side. That's the genuine test, not your ability to progress when circumstances align perfectly, but your courage to advance when your mind screams for stillness. And once you take that step, everything transforms. The fear doesn't instantly disappear, but its grip loosens. You discover it was never an impenetrable barrier. It was a screening mechanism, a guardian, deliberately placed to test the depth of your commitment to the life you claim you're prepared to embrace. The apprehension you're experiencing isn't evidence that you're misaligned. It's confirmation that you've reached the crucial threshold, and the next chapter is yours to write. There's profound significance behind your perpetual feeling of being different, even in spaces where others seem perfectly content. This isn't about social inadequacy or personal shortcoming. It's because your essence was never designed to conform to such fundamental dysfunction. Since childhood, you perceived the discrepancies. You witnessed how people conformed to meaningless conventions, how truth was treated as a threat to stability, how compliance was celebrated while authenticity created discord. Your awareness wasn't born from a desire to find fault, but from an innate inability to embrace falsehood. This authentic core isn't a deficiency. It's your most potent attribute as a chosen one. Yet this same quality complicated your journey. You attempted to conform, to embody others' expectations, to present yourself in ways that provided comfort to others, even when it meant compromising your inner truth. Still, the disconnect persisted. This dissonance isn't a challenge requiring resolution. It's your internal compass directing you toward your purpose. Your presence on Earth isn't about blending into the background, remaining unnoticed, or accepting spiritual misalignment. While society conditions most to seek comfort, avoid discomfort, and remain in spiritual slumber, your soul operates on a different frequency. Your purpose isn't adaptation, it's transformation. That's why conformity feels inauthentic, why fitting in feels burdensome, why certain interactions, environments, and structures create internal resistance, even when surface appearances suggest normalcy. This isn't hypersensitivity. It's spiritual attunement. Chosen ones carry an energy that naturally opposes illusion. This energy generates friction, disturbing spaces built on denial. It creates discomfort in others, not through intentional disruption, but because your mere presence illuminates what they've strategically concealed. No, you'll never find complete harmony in this current world construct. But this isn't a sign of misplacement. It's an indication of your transformative purpose. You're not meant to conform to the existing paradigm. You're destined to pioneer something unprecedented. What you perceive as discomfort isn't a punishment, but a refinement process. The intensity you experience isn't a signal of failure, but the pressure that forges strength. It's the resistance building your resilience, the crucible forcing a pivotal decision. Will you diminish and merely survive, or will you expand and create anew? You might observe others moving through life with apparent ease, seemingly untouched by the depth you feel, finding contentment in routine and distraction. But this contrast exists because their purpose differs from yours. They aren't carrying the same spiritual mandate. Your presence in this timeline is intentional, not coincidental. You've incarnated to maintain consciousness during an era of collective unconsciousness, to preserve memory during a period of spiritual amnesia, to take decisive action when hesitation is the norm. Naturally, this path brings pain. Of course, it creates isolation. Certainly, you question your sanity when surrounded by those maintaining an illusion of normalcy. But this discomfort, as challenging as it is, signifies your awakened state. It confirms that the system's programming hasn't penetrated your core. It means your spirit maintains its authentic voice. And that voice, regardless of its volume, isn't destined for silence. Your discomfort isn't a flaw. It's an activation, and that process is unfolding precisely as intended. Your soul awakens in the world's quietest moments. You've experienced it. While others slumber, you remain alert, gazing upward, heart pulsing, mind active with thoughts that refuse to settle. You question your inability to disconnect, to find sleep like others do. But those hours between 2 and 5 a.m. aren't random. This is the activation window, the temporal space where the veil thins and your soul inches closer to its authentic remembrance. In these nocturnal moments, when external chaos subsides, genuine messages emerge. That's why the elements you've suppressed throughout your day, the visions, the anxieties, the persistent feeling of a greater purpose, surface when silence prevails. Your soul harbors wisdom, and when distractions fade, it refuses to remain quiet. Sleeplessness isn't always a curse. Sometimes it represents the persistent knock you've been strategically ignoring. Consider this deeply. In these sacred hours, your most profound realizations, your most transformative epiphanies, and your most crystalline memories emerge with startling clarity. This phenomenon isn't coincidental. It's the precise moment when the boundary between physical existence and spiritual awareness becomes permeable, allowing deeper truths to surface. Your authentic self resonates more powerfully at 3:00 a.m. than during daylight hours. This explains the weightiness, the raw vulnerability you experience. Indeed, these moments can be unsettling. Sometimes these hours immerse you in waves of uncertainty, resurface buried wounds, or present insights that seem initially incomprehensible. Yet consider this perspective. Would the universe disturb your rest without profound purpose? Your wakefulness during these hours suggests a deliberate connection, an attempt at communication from something greater. This isn't meant to distress you, but to awaken something essential within. The insomnia you resist might be the very catalyst propelling you toward your divine purpose. Here's a revelation most overlook. Your nighttime wakefulness serves as testament that you're not meant to move through life in unconscious slumber. Those chosen for significant purposes aren't permitted to sleep through their calling. They're deliberately awakened to it. When you find yourself conscious during these hours, resist the urge to resist. Instead, inquire within. What truth is emerging? What revelation seeks acknowledgement? Your wakefulness isn't accidental. It's a beacon, a magnetic pull, a threshold. Once you embrace this perspective, these sleepless nights transform from burden to blessing. Remember this crucial truth. Your calling isn't to be humanity's universal savior. It's to fully embody your authentic self. Many chosen ones encounter this precarious pitfall. Your innate sensitivity, profound empathy, and ability to perceive others' hidden wounds often lead you to believe you must heal everyone. Family members seek your strength, friends deplete your energy, and strangers instinctively share their burdens with you, sensing your capacity to hold their pain. Gradually, imperceptibly, you become weighted with responsibilities never meant for your shoulders. But here's the essential wisdom. Not every fractured element requires your healing touch. Some situations must remain broken, as their very brokenness catalyzes another soul's awakening. By rushing to mend everything, you might inadvertently interfere with the vital lessons others have chosen for their journey. True compassion isn't about perpetual sacrifice. It's about wise discernment. Your purpose isn't to be an endless healer, depleting yourself by mending every wound you encounter. You're here for something far more significant. To embody transformation so completely that your very existence creates ripples of change. Those prepared will naturally rise alongside you, while others, those who aren't ready, were never your responsibility. The healer's misconception lies in equating love with fixing everything. Sometimes, the most loving action is knowing when to step back. It requires acknowledging, this burden isn't mine to shoulder. This wound isn't mine to heal. Because deep within, you recognize that some individuals you've been striving to mend are the very ones preventing your own healing journey. When you look inward with complete honesty, this truth resonates. You've experienced the draining fatigue. You've felt the growing resistance. You've heard your inner wisdom whispering, stop. Your life force belongs to your divine purpose, not endless emotional maintenance. Your destined evolution remains stunted while you function as everyone's emotional support system. Consider this metaphor. A physician cannot save lives if they succumb to exhaustion mid-procedure. A beacon cannot guide vessels if its flame extinguishes. Similarly, you cannot manifest your sacred purpose while continuously depleting yourself into bottomless emotional voids. The higher calling isn't about being everyone's healer. It's about becoming so authentically aligned, so vibrantly present, so unwavering in your truth that others naturally confront their own healing journey simply by witnessing your transformation. This is the paradigm shift. This is the elevated work. Absorb this wisdom deeply. Your mission isn't to repair every broken piece. Your purpose is transformation. The moment you release what was never yours to fix, You'll access the power to step into what was always meant for you. Every delay represents a choice, and choices shape destinies. This message demands your complete attention. Should you encounter these words and remain passive, that's your decision. Avoiding choice is still choosing. Indecision offers no protection. It binds you to patterns you already know are suffocating your spirit. And these patterns don't pause during your uncertainty. They intensify. They crystallize. They steal precious moments while creating the illusion of abundant time. Divine potential has an expiration date. Each day of stagnation widens the chasm between your current self and your highest possibility. Eventually, that gap transforms into lasting regret. While tomorrow carries no guarantees, even its arrival brings no change unless you initiate transformation. This makes August 21st significant. Not because celestial bodies will align for your benefit. Not because fate will spontaneously rearrange to favor you, but because this moment precedes the emergence of your next evolution. Tomorrow either marks the manifestation of your awakening or adds another chapter to your story of postponement. The threat lies in its subtlety, making it lethal. Ignoring this message won't halt life's progression. Tomorrow will dawn. You'll inhale and exhale. You'll move through familiar motions. But internally, your sacred flame dims further. What begins as quiet acquiescence becomes the narrative of an unexpressed existence. Most souls don't vanish in dramatic moments. They fade in silence. This is the gradual dissolution you're being cautioned against now. That's why this message must reach you before August 21st. Today represents an open window of possibility. Today, choice remains within your grasp. Today, your trajectory still holds flexibility. But as tomorrow approaches, this window begins its inevitable closure, and your next evolution starts to take form. Remember this truth. No external force will rescue you from procrastination. No prophetic sign, no spiritual guide, no divine revelation can make this decision in your place. This stands as the final call before the transformation, the boundary line drawn in existence. Heed it with utmost gravity. Choosing inaction means choosing to diminish. But choosing action, stepping forward, embracing risk means choosing ascension. Beyond the veil of fear lies the existence that has always been waiting to embrace you. Most never glimpse this reality because they retreat at the first sign of flames. They surrender at rejection's touch. They crumble beneath life's pressures. But those rare souls who advance, who embrace risk, uncover a truth that transforms everything. Initially, it manifests as surrender. You release connections with those who never truly saw your essence. You forfeit the safety of anonymity. You abandon the comforting illusion that everything aligns perfectly. Yet what you receive in exchange makes these sacrifices appear insignificant, like comparing cosmic dust to celestial gold. When an awakened soul finally embraces their destined path, mere survival ceases to be the primary focus. You evolve into something more magnificent. You cease experiencing life as a passive recipient and begin understanding your role as a conscious co-creator. Every obstacle transforms into a platform for demonstrating your power. Every moment of silence becomes a vessel for your wisdom. Each day feels like territory you command rather than endure. Clarity emerges as your first gift. The mental haze dissipates, revealing crystal vision. That persistent uncertainty, endless questioning, and the burden of potential mistakes begin dissolving. In their place rises razor-sharp awareness. You recognize true value. You identify authentic connections. Distractions lose their power because your vision maintains unwavering focus. Then authentic peace descends, not the brittle tranquility born from conflict avoidance, but the unshakable serenity flowing from perfect alignment. Chaos may surround you, yet internally you remain centered. Solitude may accompany you, yet internally you feel guided. This peace remains inviolable because it stems not from external circumstances, but from your core essence. Subsequently, your external reality begins shifting. People's responses transform, not from sudden kindness, but because your energy becomes impossible to ignore. Some gravitate toward you, drawn like magnetic forces to true north. Others retreat, unable to face the awakening you mirror within themselves. Either way, invisibility no longer defines you. You become undeniable. Pathways materialize. Opportunities synchronize. Conversations manifest at precise moments. Connections emerge that transcend conscious orchestration. And then comes the most profound realization. The external world remains unchanged. You are what's different. And through your transformation, everything surrounding you has no choice but to realign. This marks the genesis of authentic power, when you cease seeking external validation and begin walking with the certainty that this path was eternally yours. Your destined existence isn't concealed in distant prophecies or locked away in some future timeline. It ignites the moment you embrace risk, the instant you advance without waiting for the world's endorsement, the second you decide that facing the flames of challenge surpasses existing in comfortable confinement. That's the catalyst. That's when the life you intuitively knew was possible, the one that whispered to your soul during quiet moments, the one you nearly abandoned faith in, finally begins to materialize. Once truth penetrates your consciousness, it becomes permanent. This marks the moment of perceptual transformation. And when it occurs, tomorrow's world will bear little resemblance to yesterday's familiar terrain. Heightened awareness revolutionizes everything. Not because physical reality instantly reorganizes itself, but because your internal shift compels everything around you to respond differently. Consider this deeply. When an awakened being recognizes their true nature, illusions lose their power. Deception becomes transparent. Manipulation slides away ineffectively. The systems designed for distraction and emotional numbness become glaringly obvious. And in recognizing them, their influence dissipates. This explains why reality feels altered afterward. The world hasn't physically transformed yet, but you've abandoned its prescribed narrative. You've evolved from spectator to creator, and reality must adapt accordingly. Subtle shifts begin manifesting, creating almost supernatural sensations. People's gazes linger longer than before, as if detecting an inexplicable quality within you. Resistance that once blocked your path mysteriously dissolves, previous obstacles no longer resonating with your elevated frequency. So when reality begins feeling different, embrace it. This signals your evolution from surviving within the old paradigm to actively reshaping it. For those still engaged, I extend my gratitude for your attention. If this content resonated with you, and you desire more insights, please consider subscribing. Your support means everything. Feel welcome to share your personal experiences or reflections in the comments section below. Until our next connection, stay well, and remember to subscribe for more transformative content.